All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I am so excited for this interview. I've been waiting for this, well, since our guest agreed to be part of this masterclass. So let me introduce you to Annette Bond. She is the CEO and founder of Definitive Style, and she's committed to empowering successful women to dress with ease, be on brand, and get noticed. Annette combines her 30 years of style and image expertise as a certified image consultant and more alive with color expert. I love that. She is one of only 50 women in the US certified in the niche fashion feng shui. I'm going to be asking her about that. She also brings her professional background in marketing and communications, and she is the creator of the Reveal Your Radiant Style Academy, transforming a woman's wardrobe from the inside out. Annette's guiding principles are that style begins with the woman, not the clothes, and that clothing doesn't make you, it reveals you. So welcome, Annette.
Oh, thank you. I'm so delighted to be here, and even that you're even more excited. I love the conversation.
I am, and I guess I need to point out, we did not coordinate what we were going to wear. That just happened. I think that must be some kind of cosmic feng shui happening. Perhaps we can delve into that as we go along. So let me ask you, Annette, you teach women how to use color to feel more confident, more successful. So can you talk to us about how that works, and does it work for every woman?
Absolutely. You know, there are some women who absolutely love color, and we see them. They're wearing red and bright pinks, and they're not afraid of color. Many women are afraid. When I say this, they are a little bit afraid of color for a few different reasons. One is they're wondering, can I really pull this off? Does it look good on me? So there's some doubt, there's some confusion, they question themselves. But then they also, this is what I find that our listeners here, is that you will get noticed when you begin wearing color. And so that can be a scary thing for many women. And so when I work with women, and I'm just going to say this, so many people will say to me, oh, Annette, I did my colors back in the 80s. I had a color analysis, like, what is this color thing? And I have to say, I was trained back in the 80s. I'm going to admit it. Hey, we're wise, and we're wise women, right?
Yes.
And confident women. And what I loved about it was that many women think it's this thing. I did this color analysis, but many don't even know why they did it. It was this thing to do. But when I sit down with a woman, or actually it's usually all virtual, understanding your colors is all about mirroring back your natural coloring. And when you start seeing the naturalness, your authenticness, there is a real confidence that comes with that. And in understanding how to use color, and as we kind of, go forth with more questions, using color as a tool, as how do I show up more successful with certain colors that I wear.
So authentic color, or colors that will reveal our authentic selves, you're not necessarily talking about super bright, vibrant, saturated colors. They might be more muted for some women. Is that a fair statement?
Yes. So actually, I'm going to go back one step. When I said mirroring who you are, and I didn't get specific, it is your eye color, your hair color, and your skin tone. And there are different modalities, if you will, of color. I happen to be trained, I'll show, this is my palette here. but it's by a system and it's called More Alive with Color.
Mm.
And it's by a gal named Leatrice Eisman. She is the international, truly color guru, if you want to look her up. And I was personally trained by her back in the 80s. And so what I want to say about that, so how this is different is there's 3 palettes, and there actually are kind of that low contrast color, that medium color, and a brighter color. So in each palette, so it is a little bit different. And why I even want to bring this up is because color does have a personality. And so today I am wearing a softer tone of pink. But if you were to go on my website, and actually I'm going to grab this scarf right here, is you're going to see me in a lot of intense pink. And so, you know, it depends on how you're wanting to be perceived. And I decided I wanted to be a little bit more elegant, a little bit more understated versus so bright, but I love this brighter pink. So it's really, like I just said, it's using it, and that's part of fashion feng shui too. It's that energy that you want to bring to that conversation, or that opportunity that you're working with someone. What is it you want to bring to that energy level? So it depends on which color.
Yes, and you know, I've seen your beautiful website. It's just gorgeous, and you do have that really intense pink, and it just you you look high energy to me. There's still photos, but it conveys this sense of high energy. This is a woman in control, in command. She knows her stuff. I mean, that's fascinating. I didn't really think about that until you started
Thank
talking
you.
about it. Yeah.
You know what? It's messaging. And so many people, they're, you know, like we pick branding colors for our websites and our logos. We do the same thing with our wardrobe. And that was the exact message I wanted to convey, which is why I'm wearing what I was wearing. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, you did mention, and of course, this whole masterclass is geared for women in their 50s and 60s and above. And one of the things that I have heard my own clients tell me repeatedly is that they feel invisible. When they've reached this kind of midlife stage, they feel invisible. And I think some almost, there's a comfort level with that for some. Others, they don't like it. They want to be seen. They want to be seen. So color clearly would do that. How would you work with a woman who isn't quite ready to be bold and vibrant with her colors yet? But you know, I want to encourage all women to step out more and be more visible. So how would you guide someone who is perhaps more shy or a little more reluctant to go bold with her colors?
Okay. So I'm gonna first, and this is, I love this, is defining your signature colors. And so when I say signature colors, I'm going back to that mirroring of your natural hair color, your eye color, and your skin tone. I don't know any woman, and it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter what intensity, is if you could start pulling out your eye color. So if you have like beautiful blue eyes, start wearing more blue. If you have brown eyes, maybe go, so many people don't know this, but on a color wheel, complementary colors, they're opposite on the color wheel. So brown and blue are complementary colors. So if you have brown eyes, you could be wearing blue, or maybe some of the plums and the purples would be beautiful. Maybe you have these beautiful golden brown, and there's kind of, there's a little bit of gold, there's a little bit of green. Start pulling out some of the colors in your eyes, and I guarantee you, you are going to be noticed in such a beautiful, natural way, because we can't, it is our eyes. I mean, it is it's our, now my mind just went blank on that saying, kind of
The
the eye,
mirror of the soul, I
the
think.
mirrors of
Yeah.
the soul. And it's so interesting when I talk about signature colors. It's not about standing out all the time, like see me, I'm wearing orange, I'm wearing coral, I'm wearing fuchsia. But it's about this beautiful harmony. When women are wearing their natural colors, people will look at you and they'll go, oh my gosh, you just look so beautiful. And they almost don't even know why. I mean, I'm looking at you, Kip, and it's like, I'm seeing your cheeks, I'm seeing your skin in that beautiful pink. That's what I'm seeing when I look at you. And so it's this beautiful, natural, inherent harmony. So that's what I guess I want to say. Don't worry about the intensity. Just start with that, whatever that color is that's in your eye. And I guarantee there's a comfort there when we do that, because it's part of who we are, right?
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah.
is. And so would our signature colors change? So I am getting silver hairs through my hair more and more each passing week. And I'm going to just let my hair go silver naturally. So will my signature color change as my, because that's, my hair is a sort of a medium brown, there's gold in it and so on too, but it's definitely changing to a more silver color. Will that change my signature color, or would it still be largely the
So,
same?
the whole signature color thing, it's a way to bring out your natural coloring, and it could be several different colors. So I am not boxing anybody in that they have to wear these certain colors, but I just did this. I was looking down while you were saying this. And so it might be like, for example, I pulled out like your skin tone. I pulled out ivory. I pulled out gray. Now maybe you would wear, whether it's gray, and I still think gray would look beautiful on you right now, but maybe you might like a deep taupe instead of the gray. It's funny. I wasn't sure I was going to do this, but it's kind of fun just to show everybody. So whether you go with like a taupe and a beautiful, this is called Baroque rose, and a whisper pink, and then maybe as your hair starts to go gray, absolutely start adding like a charcoal gray. Again, how many times have we seen women who are going gray and they're wearing silver, and it's so gorgeous?
Oh, it's stunning. It's
It's
stunning.
stunning. It's
Yeah.
absolutely stunning. So this happens to be charcoal gray. If you want to go to a lighter gray, that would be beautiful too. So yeah, absolutely. Start bringing that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find women, when you're working with women, and you're working with a particular woman, and she gets the right colors, is there an instant transformation? Do you notice, or what do you notice when she
Okay.
sees? She may not be able
Yeah.
to articulate, just as you've said, but does she sense it? Does she get it?
Yeah. So, what's interesting, before COVID, I did all my color consultations in person in Seattle. My business is now nationwide and everything is virtual. And this has been the most interesting thing, because I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to do color? And when a woman is looking in the mirror, sometimes there's more subjectivity, like she doesn't see herself the same as she does when I show her on screen. And so I had a woman recently, Suzanne, and I always ask everyone, tell me what are your favorite colors? What are you wearing now? I don't ignore any of that. I want to know, what is it you're attracted to? And so then what I do is I look at that. We've already talked about who they are as a woman, their personality, their strengths. And then I get very objective and I start looking at their inherent hair color, their eye color, and their skin tone. And I actually do a whole presentation with their face, with these colors and they see it online. And so this one gal, Suzanne, I said, Suzanne, I said, I want you to I hope you'll have an open mind, because the colors I was going to show her were the total opposite of what she'd been wearing. And when I first showed her, there was some quietness, and I could tell it felt, because like, well, no, those aren't my colors. I never wear those colors. And you're telling me to wear those colors. And I started showing her, and she started trying these colors on, and she saw herself come alive. And she's now saying, oh my gosh, I mean, she goes, I will never look at any other colors. And she's seen her hair and her skin and I mean, so that isn't always the case. Many women have kind of a sense of what colors they like, but they don't, they're still kind of questioning and doubting. And many times they just want that validation. But I did have this recently, and it was transformative to her. I mean, she is like so excited. She goes, oh my gosh, Annette, these compliments I'm getting. And I mean, I can just feel her energy. So it's pretty cool. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a friend, a dear friend of mine, and she has the most beautiful olive colored skin, black hair, and she tends to wear a lot of black. I have not been able to convince her to branch out into more color. And I was just thinking, I've noticed a beautiful shift dress behind you on your mannequin there. And certainly a lot of women believe that black is a slimming color. Is that true? Is it the only color that will do that? And what other elements? Because I think that's probably, we women, we want to look our best. We want to look, and it,
yes.
In these middle years, sometimes there's a little bit of a few extra pounds and a little bit of extra spread. And so what ways can we use, not just color, but I would imagine you also work in terms of cut and fit and style of clothing. So how do those?
Absolutely. Black, and we have always been told black is slimming, and it is, in the way that it is a color. It's kind of the opposite of what illuminates, is because it is a deep, dark color, and it doesn't, again, any lighter colors illuminate, and it's like the color white. But this is what I want to say to a woman who wears a lot of black. I have nothing against black. I actually love black, but it's looking and asking yourself, why am I wearing so much black? Is it I'm trying to hide? Am I feeling overweight? And so identifying that, because there are other ways that you can wear black. Like you can see in my mannequin, maybe it's adding some texture. Maybe it's adding a combination. Actually, I'm going to here's another scarf with an animal print. So I mean, wearing that with the black sheath dress, I mean, it's going to change. It's going to be transformative to it. So looking at why you're wearing black. But another thought that you can start doing, and many women are very, very open to this, and I'm showing you some colors here, is look at neutrals. And so maybe you start adding like a Beaujolais, you start adding an eggplant, you start adding navy or teal. There's still that little deep, darker color, but it's not necessarily black. So stick with the neutrals. Women who are afraid of color, hey, these are called, in my palette, they're called crossover colors, which are colors in nature that our eyes are really used to seeing. And so they go beautifully with black, but they can also just do well to replace black, if you will. Like a beautiful eggplant sheath. I mean, it's not black, but it still has that same feel, if you will.
So when you turned those colors around and you refer to them as neutrals, so I would have thought the some of the ones to my right, as I'm looking at your screen, on your left would be more neutral, but the kind of plum and the eggplant, those are also considered neutrals. And what makes a color a neutral color?
Okay, so in the fashion industry, we call them neutrals, but I'm gonna call them crossover colors. And I say that because these are colors, and this is what's a little bit different than the system that I'm trained with, it, which is why I love it so much, is that these are colors, many colors that we see in nature. And there's actually more here. Like, for example, red. Red can be an amazing neutral, navy, sky blue, some of the taupes. Is like, I look outside my house right now and I see this brown fence and a brown house. And if you were to put red geraniums next to that brown house, we would never say, oh my gosh, those red geraniums look horrible with that brown. Our eyes are accustomed to seeing these in nature. So what I'm suggesting, yes, that these are crossover colors that everybody can wear. I do find that certain individuals look better in certain colors than others. But so for an example, if we took, I'm going to take eggplant, and I'm going to take, kind of, I was talking with some of those pinks. You could put a beautiful pink with the eggplant.
Oh, it's
So
gorgeous.
it's taking colors in your color time and putting them with the neutrals. So I'm kind of even suggesting that with black, is as when I pulled the scarf, is putting one of your color times with the black to bring out more of your personality and who you are as a person. Yeah. And what you want.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fascinating. Annette, I'm sure we all have items in our closet that we thought they were a good idea at the time of purchase, and then we get them home and we wonder what we were thinking. So can you talk to us a little bit about how we can avoid those kinds of sometimes expensive mistakes in purchasing clothes and,
Yeah.
managing that?
So on the whole, on keeping on our subject of color and more life with color, one of the other benefits of knowing your colors is that when you stay, and I'm using this word color time, and if you're in the seasons, the 4 seasons, you can think about it like that too. When you stay in your color time, whether it's colors that are really cool, whether they're really warm, or whether it's a combination of warm and cool, you're going to find that those colors blend and mix and match beautifully. But when you start going out of your palette, and I'm not saying you can't, because I'm not this huge rule follower. When I say that, I don't, because that's what happened back in the 80s is women had like this little palette and they go, oh my gosh, I can only wear this one blue, I can only wear this one pink. And in fact, this is the Sunrise palette, you can see there's so many different pinks, there's so many different purples. But when you stay in your palette, the pieces that you purchase, and I tell my clients is, I don't care if you're, in Paris and you're picking up this beautiful piece of jewelry and it's in your palette, I guarantee you when you come home, it is going to go with something beautifully. I guarantee you, because it happens to me all the time. But when you start going like, lots of warm, let's say, lots of warm browns or golden tones, and then you're picking up lots of fuchsias, and some of them are grayed and some of them are muted. That's when it gets really confusing. And that's when you find your wardrobe does not mix or match. And all of a sudden you have all these clothes and you're like, nothing is working together. So it becomes a lot of buying mistakes. And when you have this color time, or if you're in the seasons, there's this beautiful harmonious color tones and hues that are going on. And it's kind of magical. Trust me, it really does work.
You know, I've had the experience myself. I love a red once in a while, but there are reds and there are reds. So there are blue reds and there
Yeah.
are yellow or orange reds. So the blue
Yes,
reds are great for
yes,
me. The yellowy ones are not. And sometimes
yes,
the lighting in a store is such that it's hard to tell, you know,
yes.
the hue. So do you have any advice for our audience in that regard? How, you know, how can you tell if the lighting's maybe a little bit different? Fluorescent lighting looks different than incandescent, for example, and natural light, of course, is completely
Yes.
different again.
So if you are in a store, you are absolutely right. It does look different. Is pieces may tend to look actually a little warmer in the store. The best thing that you can do is look at pieces in natural lighting. Natural lighting is the tried and true that you are going to get the true shade. You are absolutely right. That's a great example about red.
Mhm.
A blue red and a more of an orangey red. The blue red is cooler and the orangey red is warmer. And then you start trying to match certain other colors, and it's like, it's just kind of off.
Mm.
My palette here, like this is true. This is truly a true red, and they can be bluer, they can be warmer. My rule of thumb also is when I talked about, way back when about being so rigid about things matching, make sure they blend. Don't get so caught up in things being so exact. But if they're in the same tone, there's a blending of it, because every year the fashion industry comes out with brand new, tones of pink and red and orange and whatever that might be. And so just make sure it blends. Don't get so caught up in the exactness of a color.
Mm. I
You
was
will
just
frustrate yourself. You will so frustrate yourself.
Oh, I've been there, believe me. And I was just thinking as you were talking about the movie The Devil Wears Prada, and there's that lovely scene in which Meryl Streep's character is talking about how much went into, because I think it's Anne Hathaway's character makes an off comment about, I can't remember, it's a blue, let's say. And Meryl
Okay.
Streep stops and she talks about, she goes at length about how the color is arrived at and all the work that went into the color and what the color does. And it's magnificent, but it also, it's not insignificant, is it? It's, I think a lot of people tend to think of color and so on as maybe it's a fluffier kind of topic, but it really isn't. It really goes to the heart of our confidence and self-expression, doesn't it?
Do you know, I'm gonna before I'm gonna talk on the personality of color, but before I do that, when you talk about what goes into color, if the who's ever watching, if you really want to have fun, is to follow Pantone. So, for example, all of these are Pantone colors, and Pantone comes out with a color of the year,
Mm.
and it is big. I mean, it is a big thing. And this year, the color of the year is my mind, it's Perry, and I'm trying to remember what the last part, but it's a periwinkle, and it's very unique. And this is a new color for Pantone. So that's kind of one thing when you talk about what goes into color. But the fascinating thing that I really love working with clients on is, why are you wearing certain colors? Use them as a tool to express yourself, how you feel. I mean, just kind of think about it. If we're laying around the house and you're just relaxing, many times we're not going to go put on our full on red outfit, because it has a lot of energy, and it's like, I want to relax. I want to retreat. And so we put on these softer, for example, black is a quiet color. Navy is a quiet color, or gray. Beiges are very grounding colors, and they make us feel a certain way. Yellow is very vibrant. So, you know, what's fun is to think about, it doesn't just have to be a full on color. So was it, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2022, Pantone's colors, they picked two colors. I think it was 2021, and it was called Illuminate. And then there was a gray, and I can't remember what they called it, but what it was we were coming out of 2020, and we as people, we needed to be grounded, which was the charcoal gray, but we also needed positivity. And there was a total psychology around why those colors were chosen. And I believe in doing that, whether you're doing business or you're going out with girlfriends, what is it you want to express? Do you want people to see you? How do you want to feel that evening? How do you, there's an internalness that sometimes we don't realize, but we do feel it when we put it on. A femininity. I mean, this is a pink for me that I don't always wear because I can't always find it. I'll be really honest. And I'm finding there's more coming out and I'm loving it. So there's that femininity with my professionalism too.
Wow, that's amazing. And I can't tell you how many times on a rainy day, I've purchased a heather gray sweater. I probably have 10 heather gray sweaters because a rainy day to me, I just feel like I want something cozy to wrap around me and have a mug of tea and watch something great on Netflix. And so I completely understand what you're talking about with comfort and just that's fascinating.
Isn't that? And so you've never really thought about it before. Is that
I haven't. I just noticed when I come home and add the gray sweater to the 9 other gray sweaters that I have and think, oh, it's a rainy day.
Yeah, I know. It's really interesting. It's very interesting. And it's kind of fun. I mean, and you got to be ready. I mean, there's certain colors. If you're going out and they're a lot of energy, you got to be ready to pull it off, right? You got to bring you with that. Mm-hmm. So talking about, again, that confidence and being seen is, maybe it's, if you're just starting out, is starting, as I talked about, with some of those neutrals and just adding, it might just be a pop of color. It may be a beautiful, maybe it's a shell you put underneath your jacket. Maybe it's just a jacket. Maybe it's a pair of earrings. Maybe it's a handbag. You don't have to go out full on, head to toe, red or bright pink or coral or whatever that might be. Start at your comfort level, and the more you feel comfortable with it, add more to it if you so choose to do that.
That's such good advice.
Yeah.
Well, Annette, for our wild and wise audience, in a nutshell, what does color say about each of us?
It does tell us a lot about who you are. I mean, if you're wearing that softer color, if I'm seeing you, actually, when I ask people, I love asking, what's your favorite color? Like, and they'll say red. Immediately, that tells me something about them. If somebody tells me I love blue, it's very soothing. Blue is a very likable color. I know something about them. If they tell me I love pink, I know something. It's femininity. There's a softness. It tells me something about them. So, it's having an awareness of what is your favorite color. Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful way to express, as you said earlier, our authentic selves.
Yeah,
I just love that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And give us confidence and own it. That's, if I could say anything is, don't be afraid of it. If that's your favorite color, there must be a piece that you've been hiding about you. If you tell me that your favorite color is red and I'm not seeing any red, there's something about you that you're wanting to express. You're wanting to be seen. You have some fun about you.
So I wanted to just touch on this. I'll need to wrap it up soon, but I want to just touch on the fashion feng shui. And
Yeah.
so I think if I understand feng shui, that speaks to energy, chi energy. So is fashion feng shui all about activating our internal chi, or is it something different from that?
You know, I actually color is a piece of it. It is a piece of it. And it is what it really starts with is acknowledging the essence of who you are and honoring who you are. And I know I've been talking a lot about red, and I guess because it's such a high energy contrast. And if somebody says, and I'm just going to give this example of, you're going to go do a speaking engagement or you're going to be on stage somewhere, and somebody goes, oh my gosh, you have to have a red dress. You have to have that. And if that woman's like, oh my gosh, but I'm this introvert and I don't really even want to be seen. You need to listen to that. And so it's honoring you. And when that energy of who you are, and when you honor who you are always going to feel comfortable in your clothing.
Mhm.
I mean, I have clients who, oh my gosh, they want to full on, they are so into all the coral that's out right now. And it's awesome. And I have other clients who they are so into neutrals. And I'm not here to tell them what they should wear. I'm listening to them and honoring their personality and how they want to show up in the world. And what do those colors look like? What do those styles look like? What do those elements in the clothing look like? And how do you incorporate that into your wardrobe?
Oh, beautiful. Well, Annette, I could talk with you about this for hours, and I have a feeling you could too.
I know it's fascinating, isn't it? And there's so much
Uh,
psychology to it behind that we just don't even think. We thought, oh, it's a pink jacket, oh, it's a black dress. But when you really get a little bit deeper, it's fascinating.
it really is. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Now, I know you've got a wonderful gift for our audience today. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah. And I have it here. I'll just even show it. So this is called Get Style Confident Now. And this is a nice guide to really take you through kind of 3 simple steps that I guarantee you that you will start to uncover. I ask about what is your t-shirt word? And it's kind of talking about who are you? And we talk about color and we talk about what's in your wardrobe. So this is a download on my website, AnnetteBond.com/style confidence. And yeah, this is a free guide that I know will give you some instant ahas and kind of start thinking and get your mind going on what are those colors that you might start wearing.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. And that will also be a link on the speaker's page for anyone that's checking there, that you can go directly to Annette's site from that as well. So, Annette, thank you so much. It's
You're
been just such a
welcome.
delight. I've loved having this conversation with you. Thank you. And I'm going to go and spend some time in my closet, I think.
Okay, cool. I like it. I like it.
Take care.
Bye.